Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cancer Life program. The earliest documented records of cancer can be traced back to ancient Egyptian documents in 1600 BC, but the exact year of the first cancer diagnosis cannot be determined, because in ancient times, it was difficult to accurately diagnose and record the disease. The modern history of discovering cancer dates back to the early 1800s, when doctors began to study tumors more closely. In 1806, British surgeon John Hunter first described a type of bone cancer and performed surgery on it. In 1829, German pathologist Johann M. Müller first used a microscope to observe cancer cells and proposed the theory of cancer cells. In the ensuing decades, people's understanding of cancer has gradually deepened, including its pathological features, etiology, diagnosis, and treatment. In 1895, German physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen discovered X-rays, which provided a new means for the diagnosis of cancer. In the early 20th century, radiation therapy was used to treat cancer, while other treatments such as chemotherapy were also investigated. However, as of today, there's still no drug that can really cure cancer. So people continue to look for drugs that can treat cancer, including looking for traditional Chinese medicine. We have been looking for cancer drugs for decades. Whether we have found it now, let me show you a cancer case today. Andrea, 78, is a retired police officer. He started to discover his prostate problems 3 years ago. At first, he only had difficulty urinating and back acne. In addition, he was not very aware of his health and ignored these problems. Later, the symptoms became more and more serious, and I realized that the situation was serious when I found out that there was blood in my urine, so I immediately sought medical treatment. After the doctor's diagnosis, it was found that it was terminal prostate cancer, and the cancer cells had spread to many places, including the ischia, lumbar spine, and lungs. Due to Andrea's advanced age and terminal prostate cancer, the doctor did not recommend chemotherapy. Some doctors even told Andrea to go and see the world if she can travel. The news came as a bolt from the blue to Andrea, and her emotions fell to the bottom, and she was very depressed.
I never expect myself I got prostate cancer. So I keep on checking myself. And then I was diagnosed with the prostate cancer. So from that onwards, before operation, I take the medicine, the kind of medicine, take the medicine. After that, so fortunate that I think that my prostate cancer, reduced. First and foremost, that was surprised is already what I call it stage 4. When the 66.5 is already very high, it's very dangerous. So after that, I take the medicines, that then reduced, remarkably reduced to 1.4. Say 1.4 is on October 2021. At first, it was 66.1 August 2021, and then to October, it went to 1.4. Then later, on November, it reduced to 0.6. After I keep taking the medicine, it reduced further to April 2022 to 0.5. So when I see things like that, I stop taking medicine. For about a few months ago, I checked my PSA, prostate specific antigen, we call PSA, went up 0.7. Yeah, I'll take again, 1 week. It reduced to 0.3 on September 2022. And lastly, I'll take only this month, 7th of March 23, about 10:11 a.m. I took it reduced completely 0.1. That's why I feel that's very effective, that type of medicine. So if further that I want to take the medicine until now, I have to take although this thing reduced, keep on taking until it's completely.
After Andrea suffered from advanced prostate cancer and was sentenced to death by doctors, he did not feel hopeless, but raised his hands in surrender, waiting for the date of death. He looked around for a drug that could help his cancer. Later, through a friend's introduction, I bought a Chinese medicine on a well-known online shopping platform through this friend. At first, Andrea didn't have much confidence in this traditional Chinese medicine, but unexpectedly, it was unintentional. After taking this traditional Chinese medicine for several months, many tumors in his body miraculously disappeared, and his fate was completely reversed. From Andrea's medical report and the report written by the doctor, the reporter can see that every time Andrea's test, the PSA is decreasing. From the initial 66.5 to 1 year 7 months later, the PSA is down to just 0.1. Comparing the X-rays taken before and after Andrea, it is indeed seen that many cancerous tumors in his body have completely disappeared. Andrea declared that he did not dare to tell the doctor what kind of medicine he was taking, and he himself only dared to call this traditional Chinese medicine a supplement. I supposed to be passed away more than a year ago, and I am very happy still to see the world today, Andrea said. When Andrea received the latest medical report showing that multiple tumors in his body had disappeared, he was so happy that night he went to the nightclub with his relatives and friends to celebrate, and even danced happily. Relatives and friends also special arranged a birthday party for him, celebrating the rebirth of a life. Among the many cancer patients, there are indeed not many people who are as lucky as Andrea to regain a second life. Life is full of miracles, and you need to persevere. I think if he had given up looking for an antidote, maybe today, he would never be able to see the vast sea, look up at the beautiful sky, and take a breath of fresh air.